Alright, welcome back to another Q&A. Haven't done one of these in a while. Let's just jump straight into the questions. The likelihood of this happening kind of aside, what are your thoughts on the DC character Frankenstein being a premier skin for Hellboy? I should probably preference this because a lot of people probably won't know this character. Everyone's gonna think Frankenstein as in, the classic Frankenstein movies, but DC actually has a character called Frankenstein. It's worth looking up if you're not aware of who he is, and I suppose that could actually work. But the character, like you said, leaving the likelihood aside, it's probably not something worth having a conversation about, because the likelihood of this is incredibly unlikely. I just had to explain who the character was because not a lot of people are going to know him. People are just going to think it's some type of weird character they came up with inspired by Frankenstein, which I suppose is what it is, but people won't know its history with DC. I know this has nothing to do with Injustice or Mortal Kombat, but what's your favorite animal? Honestly, I'm not a super big animal guy, but I used to have a cat, and it was awesome. So probably cats? I don't know. There's two questions in this one. I'll probably answer the other one in another video because it requires a little bit more time. But if Rain was an Injustice 2 character, would people be mad or happy? I think he's actually a fairly good candidate for Injustice 3, as they probably will want another Mortal Kombat character. And characters like Liu Kang and Kung Lao, those characters that are slightly more iconic than Rain, don't really feel like they would fit in Injustice, where Rain, I think, is probably a character that would definitely fit in a lot more. Do you play any FPS games? Actually, yes. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. I was fairly good at Counter-Strike. I played at around about an LEM rank, a little bit higher than that sometimes. Unfortunately, I don't play Counter-Strike as much anymore. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty when I was younger, but I haven't played it any time recently, and I played a little bit of Overwatch when that was first released. Do you think they will add the Premier Skin feature in MK11, like what they did in Injustice 2? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. The Premier Skin system is fairly unique to Injustice 2 because there's a lot of Injustice characters that people would like to see that probably aren't going to be able to show up in the game. And I guess that's kind of true for Mortal Kombat 11, but nowhere near in the same way that it's true for DC. MK has a much smaller world and a lot less to pull from, so I don't expect Premier Skins to show up unless they intend to do some type of like DC Premier Skin or something like that. But again, I totally doubt that. They'll probably just go with a classic costume set and they'll call it like a Premier costume or something. Here's hoping they still have the gear system alongside that, but I don't think we're going to get like Premier Skins. Which turtle are you most interested in using if it's possible to play as each one individually? For me, it's probably Donatello or Leonardo. Probably more so Leonardo though. I like both of the characters. I think they're both really interesting. They just seem very like wise, calm, cool, collected, where Michelangelo and Raphael were never really characters that, stood out to me. Obviously they stand out, but I never really connected with them. I never really saw myself in them. I enjoyed seeing them and I laughed at them on screen, but they weren't characters that I was like, oh, I want to be like Mikey. Plus, I mean, Leonardo's got swords. I like swords. Swords are cool. Oh, and you also mentioned, and do you think the shell could be the accessory? No, I think the individual weapons are going to be their accessory. What are your thoughts now that you know Spawn is definitely going to be in MK11? Well, I don't know that. Let's not get anyone's hopes up. Spawn is not confirmed for MK11, but I suppose it's pretty likely at this point. Just don't get your hopes up, guys. Don't get disappointed. Fun fact, it's impossible to be disappointed if you don't expect anything. So maybe we should just do that moving forward, guys. Regardless, I'm not a huge Spawn fan, so I'm not going either way on it. I'm not like super disappointed about it. I'm not excited about it. I hope they do something interesting with the moveset so it's a character that stands out for me. Would you like to see Crime Syndicate in Injustice 3? Yeah, I don't see why not. The characters could show up fairly easily. I think you could even draw the whole story after the Crime Syndicate if you wanted to. There's a lot of room to work there narratively, and we'll probably have something pretty similar to the Premier Skin system in Injustice 3, so you could do Crime Syndicate stuff like that. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's certainly not on the top of my list of characters I want to see, but it's certainly on the list of things that would be cool. Do you think it's possible for Avatar Korra or V from Vendetta to be DLC? Well, what's interesting is that Korra is actually on the table of characters to show up now, right? We never thought it would be, but because of the deal with, I'm assuming they would have had to have made a deal directly with Nickelodeon, they can now get access to Korra or just any random avatar they can come up with. They can make that work. That's a thing that they could theoretically do in the future, and it's certainly something that would get me excited just because of the potential moveset you could have. It's kind of crazy the possibilities that open up now that we have a deal with Nickelodeon, or that we're willing to do characters with Nickelodeon. I didn't know that was a thing that could even be possible, but now that we know it's a thing, that opens up some doors. That being said, I wouldn't be holding my breath for Injustice 2. Injustice 3, however, that's actually a character, get out there, start recommending it, start, posting on Reddit, doing all the things you can do to reach out if you do want to see Korra or Aang or any of those guys in Injustice 3. Would you pick up the next Mortal Kombat game and cover it on your channel? Yeah, for sure. The thing is, I'm always going to cover it regardless of how it turns out, but the thing that will keep me playing the game, the thing that will keep me creating as much content as I currently do for Injustice 2, will be the gear system. That's going to be like a massive deciding point whether I continue to make content or not. The gear system has been so important for me because it helped me transition into Injustice 2, helped me transition into fighting games in general, and I think it would be really silly for NetherRealm to drop that system because it is so important to so many people, and it was a big part of my YouTube channel, right? It helped me grow a lot, you know, making videos about the gear system. It's something that I care about a lot, and I would hate to see it go in Mortal Kombat. Do you think Red Tornado could work as a premier skin for Atrocitus? Yeah, for sure. I don't see why not. I still think that Kilowog is the best premier skin choice for Atrocitus. It would take a lot of work, and some people would be upset that Kilowog wouldn't be making structures, right? He wouldn't be making constructs. He would instead be manipulating some type of green energy in order to do all of the stuff that Atrocitus does. But I wouldn't have a problem with that because I want a Kilowog premier skin, damn it. Do you think Enchantress's moveset will be like Starfire's, considering they both have green rays? No, I don't think so. I don't think the green rays have anything to do with the moveset. Enchantress can do whatever she wants to do. I don't think that we'll get a very similar moveset at all. I think Starfire's moveset was more or less about zoning, and I think hopefully that Enchantress has a more unique moveset, perhaps instead doing like projectiles from a distance, maybe something like Firestorm's trap that he throws down on the ground. I forget what it is. I think it's down, no, it's back down 2, and then he plants like a little fire thing on the ground. He can meter burn it and he can trap you. Something like that maybe for Enchantress instead of like traditional zoning projectile stuff. And hopefully you've got a really interesting kit that you can make off of that. If possible, do you believe that characters besides Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe could become premier skins for certain characters? I don't know about premier skins, but there's certainly a lot of characters from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe that could work, especially in Injustice 3, as additional characters. We already showed that we're willing to do TMNT, and we already have all 4 members of TMNT in the game. Other characters which are super iconic and marketable are Splinter, Shredder, and honestly after that you probably run out of iconic characters that are really, really marketable. Perhaps maybe Casey Jones, but apart from that, I think you run out. So I think they should really spread out those characters. If this is like a continuous deal that they're allowed to keep using those characters, I would definitely try to spread those out, because again, I think that's going to be a pretty big draw for future DLC. Heck, you could even do Shredder as a Mortal Kombat character if you wanted. Oh my god, Mortal Kombat fans are going to be so upset that I said that. I'm sorry. It's okay. Mortal Kombat should be pure, and Liu Kang should be all 30 members of the roster. I wouldn't normally answer a question like this because it's kind of like super out of left field. Something like this is never going to happen. However, Devin has been around on my channel for a long time, so I'm going to give him a little bit of leniency here and answer this question. Would you like to see any Ruby character to appear as a guest character in Injustice 3? I personally would like to see Yang. So, obviously, I've talked about this a little bit in the past. I'm a big Ruby fan. It's the first animated show that ever really got me interested past the point of the first season. I can say that no Ruby character really belongs in Injustice. Injustice is a very specific type of game, and having an anime, or what is effectively an anime guest character show up is probably not a great idea. I think a character, I know earlier on in this video I mentioned that Korra could actually theoretically show up. That's because I think Korra is more grounded in a Western style of animation that could be much easier to translate into a 3D world than, say, a Japanese anime, which is effectively what Ruby is. I know Ruby was created in the West, but it's got a lot of those tropes from traditional anime, especially when it comes down to animation. But if I was to pick a Ruby character, I would probably just pick Ruby herself and do like an adult version of her so that she can more easily translate into that 3D world I was talking about. I believe this person is referencing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when he says this. The question is, will they talk in their intros, or what do you think? He's asking if they will all come out and talk at the same time. I doubt it. I think what's probably more likely is that Leonardo talks in the intro, and then whatever character you have out at the time will talk in the Clash quote. Leonardo looks like he's going to be the leader of the team, so that makes sense. Who do you think is the best DLC character in your opinion? As far as like gameplay goes and competitive viability, probably Red Hood. And as far as like character design, like which character do I think was like made the best? This is a tough one. It's a really close pick for me between Red Hood and, believe it or not, Raiden. Despite the fact that I don't play a lot of Raiden, I think his moveset was really well done. I don't think it was quite balanced correctly, like it feels a little underpowered, but I think the theme and the idea of everything he does is there and it works really well. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. If you are focusing on covering superhero games, will you consider covering Spider-Man PS4? I will probably play Spider-Man PS4 when it's released, and I'll probably do a couple videos on it, and I might even do like a full playthrough, but I won't do any, trailer reaction videos or anything like that, just because I'm not super passionate about the game and I don't want to mislead you guys into thinking that it's something that I'm super passionate about. It's a game that I'm excited to play and it looks cool, but it's not something that is like a massive passion of mine. The same way that Injustice 2 was a passion of mine, the same way that Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is going to be a big passion of mine. I don't want to force myself to make videos for a game that I'm personally not very excited about. Again, I'll play the game. I'm looking forward to it. All right, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I want it to be really clear that I super appreciate all the support you guys give. Leaving likes on these videos, leaving comments, asking Q&A questions, all of this stuff is a massive deal to me. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, when you guys said all the happy birthday wishes that you did on my 2 happy birthday videos, I want to say that that does mean a lot. And I know it might be hard to believe that, but it seriously does mean a lot. So again, thank you guys so much. My name is Mobilbzy, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.
Holy mackerel.